Hey guys, so obviously with this latest chapter we have an idea of where Pluton is, and I have a decent feeling about what might be in store for us in regards to Pluton, but let's start at the beginning and break all of this down. So what is this thing, this Pluton? Well, Pluton is one of the three ancient weapons alongside Poseidon, which we know is Shirahoshi, and Uranus.
Stop it!
Uranus, which is on the moon, possibly bringing the return of Enel. We first hear about Pluton in Water 7, where it was originally built long ago, and in our current day One Piece, nobody seems to know anything about it except for Iceberg and our very own Frankie, who have both seen the blueprints. So here we are. I think it's definitely interesting how they both had a shocked reaction to seeing the blueprints. They both did not understand how something like that could be built, which begs the question, what exactly is Pluton? Like, what is a Pluton? Like, so Pluton is supposed to be a warship capable of destroying an entire island in a single blow, right? So this Pluton thing must be Yonko caliber. I mean, a feat that currently sits at the top of the One Piece world, similar to that of Whitebeard. Either only Whitebeard could destroy the entire world. Even a Buster Call requires a Navy fleet and at least an admiral, so that level of firepower is a little bit OP. Get it? But seriously, it makes sense why Crocodile, Orochi, and Kaido, or hell, even the Gorosei want it, right? Everyone wants power. We've talked about it before, but in the wrong hands, even one ancient weapon is world-changing. It's like a shift of power. In the most recent chapter, we see the pathway to Pluton is hidden underwater in the ruins of Old Wano. Surprise, surprise. Seems like a good way to deter Devil Fruit users from being able to find it, right? In the water. With the exception of Jack the Drought or Jack the Drag Down, which makes sense in this scenario because Jack was probably dragged down to the bottom of the ocean. That's how he just stumbled across Pluton. So Jack being the drag down actually helped him, and being a drag down wasn't necessarily a detriment. It was to his benefit. And I know there's theories floating around that drag down Jack, that's the reason why he got his devil fruit, because he found Pluton or just found a passageway to at least the poneglyph by being a drag down. And Kaido was like, yo, you're kind of useful. Here's this mammoth fruit, you know? Now you have the mammoth boys and such. But funnily enough, do you know what else is in Wano country and currently in the underwater ruins of Old Wano? Trafalgar Law, pirate captain of a submarine. I think I see what you did there, Oda. But wouldn't it be just like Oda to pull the rug from under our feet with such an easy lineup? So now we talk about Frankie. Frankie definitely has some sort of connection to Pluton too. When I think about the fact that the Sunny was made after Frankie destroyed the blueprints to Pluton, it's highly possible that Frankie, because he's a cyborg and was able to memorize those blueprints, we're assuming, and the Sunny in a lot of ways is as a result and inspired by Pluton. After all, we have this crazy strong Goen cannon on the front and Coupe de Best on the rear, both which are powered by Cola, which also powers Frankie's cannon, so a little bit of self-insert there. But what if this inspiration is drawn from Pluton? Frankie charges up his Coupe de Vent and Sunny charges up Coupe de Berest with what we can assume is pressurized Cola, and volcanoes erupt when the magma builds up so much pressure that it just explodes outwards. And then I started thinking about the last panel we saw of Kaido in the magma flow chamber, and about the fact that Pluton is some insane ship that the world's greatest shipwrights have no idea how it was built, and the fact that it's underwater in Old Wano, it hit me. What if Pluton is built into Mount Fiji? What if Pluton is powered by magma instead of Cola? What if the front end of Pluton is a Goen cannon volcano? That could definitely destroy an island in a single hit. Hell, what if Pluton is some sort of semi-man-made, semi-natural volcano warship? I mean, just stay with me, gang. I think it makes perfect sense considering the walls outside of Wano would have to be destroyed for its removal, that Frankie and Iceberg don't understand how it was built. The potential for the Sunny to have been inspired by Pluton, I don't know, maybe I'm reaching, but I think it lines up to make perfect sense, which means it probably isn't going to happen. Either way, right now we have Robin and Law in the chamber with the poneglyph, with the underwater ruins of Old Wano right outside of the room. But when they look out the window, we can see that there are more giant koi fish we saw in the waterfalls up to Wano. So in the Odin flashback, we also have this giant boar that Odin fights, right? The god. So it seems like giant animals are pretty native to Wano, even though giant animals exist pretty much everywhere in the One Piece world, right? I mean, look at Alvida. I mean, I'm joking. But if you think about the fact that Old Wano holds Pluton and obviously now underwater, which is the perfect countermeasure for keeping the majority of the strongest people from accessing it, that couldn't be their only deterrent, right? It would make sense to have Sea Kings or something powerful guarding Pluton. What if all the ancient weapons work like keys to unlock each other, right? Sounds insane, but hear me out. Shirahoshi, aka Poseidon, controls Sea Kings, as we saw them saving Fishman Island from the giant ship known as the Noah. What if Poseidon is used to remove the walls of Wano or to pull Pluton itself out of Wano? But hang on, it gets a little crazier. We know that the Kozuki clan has a connection to the moon. The moon tattoos for the secret plan. The moon is on Odin as well as the scabbard's clothing in the flashback. Even Lady Toki talks about the moon. I mean, at this point, I want to get a moon tat, right? But we know Uranus is on the moon. And if Coupe de Burst is inspired by an ability Pluton has, it's fully possible that Pluton will take us to the moon. So Poseidon can be used to unleash Pluton, and Pluton is then used to unleash Uranus. I'm not sure where Uranus is, but we know that Enel is on the moon with the automata, the little robot people things. And we think about the fact that Frankie is a cyborg, the two are kind of related, and that Frankie obviously has a connection to Pluton. I know it's a bit much, but Uranus is the Greek god of the sky who could control wind and weather. So what if Uranus is a weather machine? I mean, think about it. If Poseidon controls the sea kings, Pluton controls the earth, and Uranus can somehow control the weather. I mean, I don't think I'm going crazy, but I start to think about just how Wano was flooded, and then we go to Emu. And then he talks about cleansing. We have the Noah's Ark, and then with Noah's Ark, we know the story, but some of us do. Like in the Bible, it talks about how it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. That's how, God cleansed the earth. I mean, could Emu have Uranus already? That's why we haven't heard anything about it. Like once we get there, be like, oh, by the way, I have Uranus. And that's how they go about the cleansing. Who knows how this thing happens? But obviously they're all connected. But let's talk about Law and his possible role in all of this, okay? Because Law's full name is Trafalgar D. Water Law, right? And it seems like more foreshadowing we might have missed. Kind of like Luffy sailing on the Sunny and having a sun god devil fruit. Water is the part that stands out to me in Law's name, obviously. And is Law destined to be the one to either pull Pluton from the ruins of Old Wano, assuming he is capable, or popping himself into the helm of Pluton and controlling it out of Wano? In the same vein of foreshadowing, though, on Punk Hazard, Law tells Luffy that pirate alliances don't last and often end in betrayal. Now, if we take that as literal foreshadowing, there's a very real possibility that Law pops himself into Pluton and then controls it, betraying the Straw Hats, making off with an ancient weapon. I mean, there's been several Law betraying the Straw Hat theories, and at this point, I don't really believe it, but I mean, pirate alliances end in betrayal, right? We saw it in Hawkins and Apu, and though it seemed like a gag, there's a very real possibility we see it with Kid. But what if Law has just been hiding in plain sight? There's still a theory out there that Law could be a member of Sword, which is entirely possible, but either way, Law has an integral role to play in how the story moves forward with Pluton. With a middle name like Water, I mean, he has to, but maybe the name Water is some sort of lineage from Water 7 where Pluton was possibly created. Then it really would be destiny for Law to control or remove Pluton. I mean, we've seen the guy cut mountains in half. He definitely has a role to play here. It's just too perfect that Law read the poneglyph on Onigashima and now is here to read the poneglyph in Old Wano where Pluton also happens to be. I know some of it may seem crazy, and I understand Law's connection and Law's name, the Battle of Waterloo and all that different stuff, Trafalgar, the Battle of Trafalgar. I understand that, but Oda typically doesn't always make a one-to-one connection. They're not always reminiscent of what the real life counterpart is. Oda throws things in there, it has meaning, but then he goes off the deep end, whatever he wants it to mean. So the whole point of this, right, is that all the ancient weapons probably are connected, and that Law is going to play an integral role, and that of course Frankie will play one as well. Now, just to clarify, not saying any of this is definite and set in stone. I do think that Pluton could be a submarine, and it also has the potential to be Mount Fuji in general, but I do think that Frankie and the Sunny, the creation of that is definitely inspired by the Pluton Prince, and I'm kind of iffy, probably leaning towards no on the Law betrayal, even though he has everything in his possession currently to betray the Straw Hats. His crew is just ass, so I don't see that happening because you wouldn't get anywhere. Like Jinbei is there, you have Luffy, Sanji, Zoro. Even if you try to run, they will catch you, and then even Nico Robin, you still need the final poneglyph, and we're assuming Blackbeard has it. Even if Blackbeard or Shanks has it, there's no way Law is getting it from them. So guys, what are your thoughts on the ancient weapons, Pluton, and what it could be? I'm taking all theories. I plan on doing a response to the comment section. Haven't done one of those in a while, where I take some of your comments and make a video around it, because I do appreciate you guys commenting and supporting the channel. So here we are. Give me your thoughts on everything. What do you think about Pluton? What do you think it is? And how does Law contribute? And even Frankie, right? And do you think the ancient weapons are all connected? And could Emu actually have an ancient weapon? How does he go about, or she goes about, cleansing the world, right? Is it just basically Buster calling everywhere you want to defeat, or kidnapping princesses and blaming it on revolutionaries? Who knows? But guys, give me your thoughts. I like them. I plan on posting a poll on Twitter as well, so catch me there.
Okay, I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.